So Pat, I believe, has an apology to make.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Hang on just a second.
I'm not sure.
It's Pat's apology hour.
Wow, the entire hour, Pat? What did you do?
That seems a little.
What have you done?
He was well.
Let's listen to this whole
your point of view was
Eric Holder
extreme.
thing. Let's listen to the Attorney General of the United States of America in context, and we'll decipher this together.
Shirley,
all right, this is the My People thing.
I think that the quote that you read from that gentleman that...
By the way, he's testifying before a congressional hearing, and John Culberson from Texas has just asked him about why they didn't prosecute the Black Panthers, and he cites somebody who called it one of the most egregious things in history.
I think that the quote that you read from that gentleman, that this was the greatest affront in the history...
That he'd ever seen.
I mean, that...
Personal opinion.
But I mean, think about that. When you compare what people endured in the South in the 60s to try to get the right to vote for African Americans, and to compare what people were subjected to there to what happened in Philadelphia, which was inappropriate, certainly that, but to call that, to put it, describe it in those terms, I think does a great disservice to people who put their lives on the line, who risked all for my people.
Okay. Who risked all
for my
people.
Yes.
All right. Now, here's the rest of it.
You listen to the rest.
Okay,
you put the two and two together.
And you got to be in complete agreement. You can't compare what happened in Philadelphia to what African Americans went through for 100 years. You can't compare the two. So
now, wait a minute,
he's right about this.
Hang on. May I put this?
But then he throws in my people.
Right. Can I give you the first one? And this is the weaker case, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Because there's two separate cases here. In this sentence, in this paragraph that he's just talking about, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because of my friendship with Joe, who is Korean. And his people, meaning his family, his people went and they left and they escaped. His grandfather died at the river. He was shot and killed, or they don't really actually know what happened to him. He disappeared. He was like, he heard something. He said, I think they're friends. Let me go check. You guys go across the river and I'll be right back. He never came back. So his family left and escaped. Now, you could, in that context, I would accept from Joe saying, don't you dare say something that compares to what people went through in Korea. My people fought and died to be able to get out of there and to be able to fight back that dictator.
Yes, perfectly acceptable.
Perfectly acceptable. And that's what I think he's saying here.
Well, we're about to find out.
My wife's sister...
No, wait, stop. That's what I thought he was saying in the last one. He's saying people fought and died for my people, meaning African American, and I think that is acceptable in that context.
Yeah,
it's not the way. If I were African American, it's not the way I would hope that I would speak, but I think it is acceptable to say it that way.
It's a tough one, but
it's fuzzy.
Yeah,
you'll agree it's fuzzy. To me, when it's fuzzy, you give the speaker the benefit of the doubt, which they never do to me, but I will give to them. Yeah. You give them the benefit of the doubt.
The University of Alabama, when George Wallace stood in the door and said that she, as a state resident, could not attend the University of Alabama.
And by the way, may we point out here, and I think we're all in agreement on this.
Yes, go ahead.
George Wallace, who stood in the way of your sister-in-law at the University of Alabama, stood in the doorway, would not allow the African-American access to education.
Bring it on.
A Democrat! A Democrat! Eric.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vivian Malone, who I'm proud to say was my sister-in-law. To compare that kind of courage, that kind of action, and to say that the Black Panther incident, wrong though it might be, somehow is greater in magnitude or is of greater concern to us historically.
Historically.
Yeah. You can make the case. And this didn't hit me this way yesterday. I'll admit that. It did not hit me this way. But fortunately it did you. But it didn't hit me that he, immediately after My People, he started talking about his family.
Yeah.
immediately afterward.
Yeah, I was 90 seconds to air when I was listening to this last night because we couldn't get it all day.
Yeah,
and
I
think personally I owe him an apology because we talked about this on radio yesterday, didn't we? I owe him an apology for taking him and not having just taking the written transcript and not having the whole transcript. Now, I think you could take it either way. You don't have to give him the benefit of the doubt because he has said we're a nation of cowards when it comes to race, which I completely disagree with. I think he is absolutely wrong on this thing in Philadelphia, and I believe it is something else that's going on with him on the and I think it's corruption. But there's something going on with the Black Panthers in Philadelphia, the way they are handling this case. It's wrong. Something's wrong. I think it's corruption. But yesterday I said, he was talking about my people couldn't listen to it. And when you listen to it, it changes.
How did it hit you, Stu?
It doesn't strike me as anything terrible. I mean, I think
you can take it that way, but
you could. I think it's maybe I like to be I don't like being oversensitive on that sort of stuff. Nope. And I could see when you look at the transcript, it's going to read a little bit different than hearing it. And I think look, there's a lot to complain about in the Obama administration. I think this one's not particularly bad.
Don't need it.
Although I don't, no. I'm sure that Eric Holder will come out next time there's someone on the right who is accused of someone on the when a Democrat comes out and says, "I can't believe this is the worst thing that's ever been done in history." He will testify, of course, saying that's ridiculous. You
don't need to go to Eric Holder, and you don't need to go to any place further than what the president said in this new book, that he says that a key component to the Tea Party is racism. That's outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous.
Absolutely outrageous. Because there's no evidence of that. None. That is coming with your own bias, period.
Yeah, but you would have never tried to correct this if Eric Holder wasn't a white guy. You realize that because he's white, you are letting him off the hook because he's white.
He's not white. He's Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
Isn't he? Is he Puerto Rican?
No.
He's not. What is he?
He's an African American.
Oh my gosh. I can't change your opinion.
Change
your opinion on him.
Okay. I don't know what to do now.